this. You got VIP?
Yep, very important P.
Street bikes you ever see out there.
It looks amazing. I was talking to people at the weekend saying about how it's almost a piece of art. But we'll come on to this, I'm sure, during the course of the evening. But let's talk about you, Scott. We can start by looking back at the 2016 season, of course. How do you view things now? You've had a bit of a chance to reflect on the season.
I mean, for me, the season went well. I felt like I improved a lot of my riding. I got on with the Ducati a lot better than I did the Honda. So that was good for my confidence. We was a little bit unlucky at the beginning of the season, a couple of technical problems. But this stuff kind of happened where you have to take it on the chin, move on to the next race. You know, we had a couple of good runs. We had a podium in Assen, just got robbed the last minute in Sachsenring. Argentina was another good race, so we had quite a few positives. And I'm looking forward really to going into next year with the little bit upgrade bike that I've got. I do generally feel like it has more potential.
You mentioned there about how you've taken to the Ducati this season after the 2015 season. What are the things that have pleased you most about with the Ducati MotoGP bike?
I would say mainly like first the size of it. It was a little bit big, which gave me that bit of space I needed. The power was very different to the Honda, a lot more smooth. I was always fighting with the Honda, always trying to wheelie all the time. It was really aggressive. You know, like in the past, Ducati was that aggressive bike, and when I got on it, it was just smooth, it was nice, it was what I was looking for. And I can get away with my aggressive style, I can get away with that with the Ducati. With the Honda, I was almost too aggressive sometimes, so I could get more being myself with the bike, start to ride how I used to, and that's what started giving me that feeling I needed.
Give us a bit of an insight. I know it's always tricky to kind of convey to us, mere mortals, what it's like to ride a MotoGP bike. What's the physical experience like for a starter?
Physically wise, I mean, it is tough, you know. Definitely, it's always going, there's no break. And even under braking, it's a lot of force back on the gas again, then trying to change the bike, change the direction, and there's no bike, you know. It's like trying to tame a beast. The whole time it's shaking, wants to go. And then you have to try and be on the limit, then you have to race other guys, it's just non-stop, you know, but that's why I love doing what I do.
I know talking to other riders, perhaps the biggest shock that we mortals that ride on the roads will get is the stopping power of these things. Can you give us some sort of feel for how that feels, how physical it is and how strong you've got to be?
Yeah, I mean, it is incredible, especially with the carbon fibre brakes that we use when they get up to temperature, it is amazing. And it's one of those things because you could stop quicker, but obviously the bike's lifting quite a lot, you have a lot of force coming on your arms, but when you sit up you also have a bit of wind, so you're kind of holding on to not go back, you're also trying to stop yourself going too forward, and there's a lot going on, but with the braking, it's really something incredible how short distance you can actually stop from such a high speed.
We'll kind of, I read the comments from Valencia, so I'm going to kind of step over that a little bit, the finish to the season. But aside from that, as you said already, some great results this season on the Ducati.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's got to look at the positives from it. And you know, it's quite tough when you're against the best riders in the world, also with the best bikes. And obviously with me being in the Pramac, it's a satellite team, we don't get no development through the year. So when I was in Valencia this year, I was with the same bike that I tested it 1 year ago. A lot of the other guys, they've developed, got new parts, so it got tough for us at the end of the season. But the main thing was when I got onto the new bike I tested Tuesday, Wednesday, was what I needed, was a bit more turn, a bit more braking and traction, and that's everything the bike gave me. So I really enjoyed to have that test, and I fly out again tomorrow for another 2 days in Jerez.
There we are, we're all thinking the season. Valencia's over, Scott will put his feet up now till Qatar, until the start of the new season. So talk to us about the test then, if you can. You were presumably going into that test with a wish list in your mind. What was the most important thing that you hoped you would get from the bike, and then how did that compare?
Kind of the things that I got, you know. I could see when I followed with the factory guys through the races, they turned the bike a lot more, they had that bit more drive, the tyre consistency was much better, and I thought, is it the bike or is it me? And now when I got that bike, everything I saw, I got it. But the difficult thing for me was riding my old bike all weekend, then one day off, and then coming with a new bike. So you have them same habits, same braking area, same tipping point, but actually with the new bike it changes. So it's hard to kind of adapt that after doing so many laps with it. So going on to Jerez next week, well, say 2-3 days, we're better to have a break, go to a fresh track, and I think then I'll really find the full potential.
And when you're going to a test, do you go with a mindset of, right, okay, this is what I want to try, this is what I want to try and get from, or do you sit down with your engineer? How does all that work?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because the testing is the most important thing for us. It's where we can fine-tune everything. You know, you try different size wheels, different position on the bike, then you've got electronics on top of that, then trying to set up the bike for tyre wear, trying to set it up for a fast ride, trying different types of mixture. There's so much, sometimes you really have to have a plan to get it right. And, you know, sometimes you can test too much. I always say it's better to do quality than quantity. You know, some riders do a lot of laps but don't test so much. I prefer to focus, okay, we're going to work with fork setting, let's work with that, then move on to there. But testing can sometimes be a little bit boring. You know, we just like to race, and that's kind of it. So with testing you don't get that, especially when you do a race simulation. So you're doing full race distance, well, you're not in a race, you're on your own, around counting them laps down, 29, 28. But at the end of the day, we've got to do that work to be ready.
It's not a bad life, is it though?
I could think of worse things to be doing.
So, talking about next season then, as you say, you've got the upgraded bike for next season. Excited about that by the sound of things. What do you think, are you setting for your expectations for the 2017 season?
I need to kind of think wisely what I want to do. I think a good target is to try and be top satellite for next year, because there is quite a big difference between the satellite bikes and the factory bikes. That's why you always see in the race there's that gap between. And we'll see. I mean, as long as I can be consistent and have a bit of a better run at the beginning of the season, you know, top 10 every weekend would be good. Try and get in the top 8, and you know, if it's rain, mixed condition, then we need to try and go into the top 5.
I've got to ask you, how do you think the Spaniard's going to do? How's Orgy going to do?
Honestly, surprised me. I expected him to struggle a little bit more in the beginning, but I actually think that, because obviously I got the bike that they had this year, and it's actually quite easy to ride compared to my bike. So the habit of the bike is kind of going a little bit Yamaha style, Suzuki with good smooth handling, and that's what they've worked on with this new bike from Jorge, is to have it more like his old bike, just in a Ducati way. So he done well. I think he'll have some really good races, but I don't think he'll be as consistent as he was. And that's just due to Ducati still developing. It takes a lot of time to get on top of that game. But all fairness, he'll win races this year.
Well, we all win one as well along the way.
That'll be nice.
Well, we all win it. It's great to have you with us, Scott. Thanks for spending the time. I know it's a busy schedule. We're flying out tomorrow, yeah? Have a good one, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Please give it up for Scott Moretti! Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Scott's around. I'm sure if you want to have a quick chat.
Nice grub.
Chicken?